Thank you, and to start things off, I am red and yellow, but I don't look good in yellow, so I wore red. And I'm a lion most of the time, and all you need to do is ask any debater that I taught. So we're going to start. In the year 2000, Brookings High School sent 3 policy debate teams to the national tournament. They placed 2nd, 3rd, and 38th out of 213 teams that competed from across the country. One of those Brookings teams made it to the final round after 15 rounds and about 30 hours of competition. The one young man that gave the thank yous finally got through all those things you have to do when you are saying thank you to this and thank you to that. And he finally said, "We would like to thank our coach for teaching us how to become champions, but more importantly, teaching us that we are still champions, even in defeat." Wow. I thought, that is really good. If we could do that for all children, that they could feel competitive and they could feel like part of something that they had done with their own mind, that would be the best thing in the world. Well, these 6 high school kids, plus 2 others who were interpreters that went along, were incredibly proficient at deep reading, asking hard questions, using critical thinking skills, problem-solving skills, and they were all tops in speaking and writing. I contend that all children should be exposed to this same skill set. Not that they have to be in a debate class, because I wouldn't teach debate to babies, but I think that the progression of what I think is important in terms of the problem solving and the skill set that I'm going to talk about should be started at a much earlier age. And first I'm going to look at this and look at the present situation, and you may say, well, we don't need to do that, but just listen for a little bit. In a survey, the first thing I looked at was a survey by the Association of American Colleges and Universities in a chronicle that was of higher education. And 305 executives of companies were asked what they looked for in a job candidate. The top 3 choices were teamwork skills, critical thinking and analytical skills, and oral and written communication. Well, you might say, we don't have that problem here in Brookings, and I would say, just looking at the newspaper, you know that this year, our local high school in Brookings has 9 national merit semifinalists. We have an elementary school that is a blue ribbon school, and we were named one of the top 500 high schools in the nation, according to a Newsweek magazine. Well, I'm not worried about the national merit semifinalists. I am concerned about most of the others in our country, considering that 22% of the children that are of school age fall into poverty. Then I thought, let's look at this a little bit more, and I found an organization called PISA, and it's really a program for international student assessment and based on problem solving and critical thinking skills in the areas of reading, math, and science. Well, in the year 2012, and they select random students to do this all over the world, the United States ranked 36th in the world. We were average in reading and below average in science and math. The interesting thing is that it was not a memorization test. It was a test that measures the ability to use information already learned. So I thought, well, secondly, I really have to see if there's a need here. I mean, we can compare ourselves to, the world and whatever, but that particular test convinced me a bit about what maybe we have to do to make our kids competitive and set them on fire as well. Well, Education Week, November 2008, shows the need for these skills to be accomplished, I think, when Anne Marie Neal, a vice president for Cisco, and Mike Summers, a VP for Dell, claimed the most important skills people are missing are the ability to communicate both in oral and written form, research skills, and being able to determine which information is most important. Cisco, Dell, Tech. They're looking for those skills that we're not just teaching to every child that we have. The Argus Leader ran a story on September 1st in 2014, just about a month ago, and I saw this, and where they interviewed a woman by the name of Dana Jackson, who is a region leader in federal tax credits and incentives. She recommended that if young people are considering a career in accounting, they need to learn how to write well, work on their presentation skills, and work on people skills. Finally, and this is just something I want you to think about because I couldn't find a way to correlate it, but I think it's really important in what I'm talking about. Money Magazine, and this also was from September 2014, found in a Pew Research study that was done in 2013 that nearly a quarter, 25% of 25 to 34-year-olds are now living with parents or grandparents. Economic conditions, paying down loans, can't find their dream job are reasons that were given. But I just want you to think about, are we really giving them the right skills to survive in the world to come? We need them to survive and get out and be part of our world and our economic situation in this country. Well, I would like to relate a story that might be the best reason why we need to teach more deep reading, thinking, solving, and communication skills to all young people, not just debaters. In the spring of 2008, I was just finishing a class of AP Government. It was the last class of the spring semester. The bell rang and the students were gone, except one student who came up to me and said that he enjoyed the class. And I said, well, thank you very much. That's really nice of you to say. I said, it was nice to have you in class too, but I was a little surprised that you did not participate more in the discussions we had all semester. I'd heard so many good things about you as a student and a speaker that I just thought maybe there would be more there. I thought you didn't like the class. He thought a little bit about that. And then he said something that really surprised me. Miss Kroll, I should have been a debater. I immediately said, well, that would have been great. I would have loved to have you as a debater. You would have been fabulous. But you have accomplished so many things on so many levels. You are such a fine young man. I said, why would you say something like that? He looked at me and said, your debaters know so much more than I do. Here was a young man who had, as far as I was concerned, the world by the tail. But he was upset that he hadn't learned as much as they had. Well, I agreed. I said, they were knowledgeable. Yeah, because they read and they read and they read and they research and they research. And they're doing those kinds of things all the time, and they just happen to know a little bit more about government than probably other things. But I said, you're an excellent student. You're attending a wonderful university, and you can catch up. Just read. Go out and read things that aren't just fast, fun, and easy. Read the things that you need to get that kind of information into your brain so you can use it too. And you will have a great life. I don't know, if he went out and read, but I know he's going to be successful. But he felt bad because he didn't know as much. He said, thanks. And when he got to the door, he turned around and said, but Miss Kroll, they will always know more. I would agree that because debaters do a lot of reading, that's a wonderful thing. And I do believe our students need to know more. And they need to read more. And yes, they would benefit from all those skills that I mentioned before. And we need to advocate, take action. We need to speak up and find a way to integrate speaking and thinking and solving and communicating into school curriculums at every level. Somewhere there has to be a place in every level of education where they start learning those things so they don't lose out. Because those skills can really, truly set you on fire. If we do these things, and I'm optimistic about it, we can give all of our kids a chance to compete with anyone in the world and have the feeling of winning and being a champion. Not because they're the richest, have gone to the right school, or have the most resources available, but because they have learned the best skill set to give them that chance. And I can tell you right now that there is nothing better as a coach to watch those kids come out of rounds of competition in debate or speech. And it's not the winning they're worried about. They come out excited and happy because they know that they've been competitive. That's what it's about. Because there is nothing better than knowing that you can beat another person with your own mind. So let's set all kids on fire in the learning area. Thank you.